Hey guys, what's going on? This is Jeff. Today I'm going to make a video to talk about something that's fairly relative, trendy, on the upswing, and something you can consider in your daily life to add to your portfolio of investments. I realize that there's going to be a couple people out there in the crowd that are going to say, absolutely not, I'm not going to invest in this. What that is Bitcoin. But not Bitcoin directly necessarily, it's cryptocurrencies. So I wanted to take this time to share this information with people because I'm personally excited about it, and I've actually been involved in cryptocurrency, or Bitcoin in particular, as that was the first level of adoption for me, since around about 2015. I learned about Bitcoin in 2013 for the first time. So just to tell that story before I get into why I am so excited about cryptocurrencies. So number one, the first time I ever heard about Bitcoin, I believe it was through Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson's space tourism company. It was announced that he will be accepting Bitcoin. I had heard about Bitcoin off and on before that moment, but that was when I realized that there might be something to this Bitcoin thing. As time went by, I kind of did a little bit of research and I tried to see how to buy Bitcoin. I tried to go on one of these exchanges and it just didn't make any sense to me. Having not been a cryptographer, I didn't understand how to go about it. It seemed kind of complicated and it seemed kind of overpriced. So I skipped it. Then in about 2015, I was doing business on the internet with somebody over in another country, and they said, well, you can just pay me in Bitcoin. And I said, well, how do I pay in Bitcoin? At that particular time, just to tell you, this was my first time I was about to buy my first coin in 2015. The coin price, here, let me give you a historical price. It was around about $250 for one coin. Just to put that into perspective, today, a price of Bitcoin is $4,357 at this particular moment. It's been as high as $5,000 nearly, $4,920. And that was on, I want to say August 31st. Around the September 1st is when it came very close to hitting $5,000 per one coin. Now, so because I didn't understand how to get the coin, I didn't get it again. I was trying to get it, it seemed very complicated. Then in 2016, again, someone had came to me and said, hey, I have this business opportunity where they're going to be doing Bitcoin mining. I said, okay, how much is it? At the time, the coin was $450. To get the mining contract, it was $600. I didn't know anything about mining. I was trying to understand. I was like, what's the deal with Bitcoin mining? What is this? How do you mine something that's not even a physical resource? And then I started to understand more about what's called blockchain. Blockchain is a series of encryption. So it's basically a key, a line, and it's blocks stacked on top of each other. The chain is the set of numbers that's sometimes up to 25 numbers or letters combination. It's just a code, but it has details inside that encryption code. And each one of those gets stacked on top of each other, and that's what makes basically a bulletproof layer of encryption to protect any sort of transaction or any sort of detail data set that need be. That's blockchain. And that's what cryptocurrency is built on, is a blockchain technology. But blockchain goes much further than that, and that's what's so exciting about Bitcoin as a currency, and then the blockchain technology altogether. So back to the mining thing, I decided to buy the mining contract. They said, well, they're going to need one coin. So I bought one coin. I gave that to them. They set me up with the contract. I basically thought to myself, I was like, I might have just given away $600 right here. So I was just like, whatever. I'll just follow you guys on this, because I'd been at this point, I was just like so eager to get into Bitcoin. I was like, okay, let's just get started and see what this stuff's all about. If it doesn't work out, then I'll never touch it again. If it does work out, then I'll look into it a little bit more. So about a year goes by. Bitcoin continues to rise. I remember it got up to about 1,000. I want to say, as a matter of fact, October 10th. So this time last year, Bitcoin was at 640. I had people telling me I should buy more Bitcoin. So as time went by, it finally hit 1,000. Once it was at 1,000 in February, I was saying, well, if it goes, I was like, oh wow, I should buy more, you know. And I said, well, if it goes below 1,000, I'll buy again. But I was actually waiting on it to go back down to 500 again, because I thought it would. But anyway, it never did. It just kept going up, up, up. I watched it go up in May to 2,000, which I thought was super high. I thought it'd come back down again to 1,000. Never did. And it's just been going up, up, up ever since. Some people are calling it a bubble. If you actually look at the Bitcoin chart, it goes like this. Just keeps going up. There's a little bit of pullbacks, so you know it goes like, but it just overall it's this straight up. It just keeps going up on an upslant. Now, some people would call that a bubble. I've been waiting for the bubble for a long time to go back down to $500 a coin so I could buy back in. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, and analysts anticipate and say that it could go up to as high as, then don't get mad at me for saying that, for quoting them, but as much as $500,000 for one coin to up to even $1 million to $5 million per one coin. Obviously, so if you buy one coin at $4,300, just one coin, and it does go up to $1 million, then you see, you get it. Okay, I don't really need to do the the potential growth for you guys. You get it. Now, the interesting thing to mention about this is it is speculative, it is volatile. We don't know, nothing is set in stone. We do know that Bitcoin is the #1 household name that most people commonly know about, but there's a new currency come on that's called Ethereum. Ethereum basically looked at Bitcoin. It was founded by Vitalik Buterin. The founder of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, no one really actually knows this guy. Like it's an alias. So the whole way the currency came about in 2008 was basically decentralize the economy, get away from the banks, kind of like, hey, kind of like what an anarchist would do, basically like undermine the establishment, was basically what the big Bitcoin, you know, hey, we got fiat currency about to collapse, let's create a new economy that won't collapse, so to speak. Or for people to turn to that's not gold and silver. Anyway, so Ethereum comes along, they read, Vitalik at 19, he reads the white sheet, his dad shows him, he creates Ethereum, which is basically Bitcoin, but it goes one step farther as a currency, and it allows other blockchain developers to create applications on that blockchain. So while it's also a currency itself, it also allows other blockchain communities and applications to be built on it. So in the short term, more people are becoming more bullish on Ethereum than they are on Bitcoin. But the funny thing is, it doesn't just stop at Bitcoin and Ethereum, it goes into this whole market of alternate coins, including Litecoin, Ripple. The one that just dropped that I'm really excited about is Omisi Go, which also Vitalik works on that. It's actually an application on Ethereum. So in making this video, my main focus or emphasis is there's something really exciting, about as exciting as what the internet would have been in, say, 1995. So back in 1995, maybe 1% of people in the world were using the internet. And maybe at this particular juncture now, maybe 1% of even the United States. I don't know. I don't even think 1% of the world. I know a lot of people in China are getting in with cryptocurrencies, so that's a large population, but it might be about 1% of the population. I don't know the exact number. So we're looking at a 1995 kind of scenario with a technology that's just as new and exciting as the internet was. So imagine way back when, 1995, you were in there with all the stuff that was going on with the internet at the very beginning. You have an opportunity now here with blockchain to get in as an early investor, and you know, this is where the opportunity exists, is getting in early. Okay, so like I said, no one can predict the future. I do know that if I just shared my experience with you where I was skeptical, where I was like, what the heck, I don't understand this, so I get where you're coming from, but it got to a point where I was like watching these charts and every single one of them were just going up. And I watched Bitcoin go up from $500 a coin to $4,500. If I had just bought 10 coins at 500 and cashed those out at 4,500, I mean, that's a pretty good return, right? So, and then coupled with what these analysts say, that it could go up to as high as 1 million. I mean, yeah, $4,300 a coin is a lot, but if that currency ends up going up, I mean, it could be a heck of a great investment for you. And because it doesn't have mainstream adoption, that's what makes it really interesting. Once it does go mainstream, guys, it's no longer going to be as much of an investment as it is now. So the investment opportunity exists because of the scarcity of basically the lack of people in it. Because once that happens, then it's mainstream, then it's just like fiat currency in the sense that everyone uses it. So it's not going to have these giant, it'll stabilize, basically, was more than likely what'll happen. So a lot of you guys want to move to Hawaii. So I'm saying, well, what if you took a couple $100 and started trying to grow your money inside this network, in this cryptocurrency network? And obviously you have to realize it's got to be money that, we're not talking about taking your rent money and putting it into a market. We're talking about money that you might have spent on cigarettes. Instead of spending it on cigarettes for a month, you take that money that you would have spent, you know, if you pay $7 a pack, take that times 30 days, you know, that money adds up. You could take that. Instead of getting coffee every morning, just put that money aside into a fund to get you into the cryptocurrencies. Or it could just be money that you have already set aside that you can afford to invest. And, you know, basically there's a whole way to get involved in it, which I can actually make another video. If this one becomes popular, I'll make another video about this. Now, there is one thing I will say about Hawaii and cryptocurrencies. Currently, the state of Hawaii has a legislation that does make it a little bit more challenging and difficult to actually acquire coins. There are ways to do it that you can actually get your coins through certain exchanges where you buy it using Western Union and stuff like that, and you store it in a wallet. But you know, those are just certain things that make it difficult, I guess you could say. Anyways, long story short, I think that a lot of you guys can take this opportunity to get into Bitcoin, explore the state laws, explore the federal laws. Understand that there's not much legislation behind it because no one really knows how to legislate it, but they do know that the thing they want to protect the consumer against, the investors against, is potential bubbles and frauds and stuff like that, where people dump a whole bunch of money into something and then, you know, because it is new like that. So the same thing that makes it very exciting from an investment perspective is the same reason why governments want to protect you, so they say. So anyways, if you guys would like more videos about this, go ahead and leave me a comment and ask me a question and we can talk about it, or we can talk about it in other ways. Anyways, guys, if you enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel and we'll see you next time.